Agora eu faço live na Kik. Primeiro link na descrição. Só vem. Delete this famous Minecraft mod right now. Litematica, rapaziada. Aquele lá que você faz você coloca os bagulho de schematic e tudo mais no formato mais de boa, sem ser Word Edit, aqueles lá. Pra você poder construir tudo instantâneo, essas coisas. Então, rapaziada, esse mod tinha um bagulho escondido complicado, mano. Eu tô falando. Por isso que eu falo. O que o HYTALE fez em colocar no futuro, quando lançar o update lá, Chapter 1, ter a biblioteca lá de mods e aprovados e tudo mais, isso ajuda muito pra não dar merda, tá ligado? E agora a galera tá mais escrota a cada mods aí, tentando abusar de querer vazar, roubar dados e até mais, roubar tudo, mano. Dinheiro, tudo com essas porra. E aqui o Litematica parece que tinha um BO, hein?
One of the biggest Minecraft mods of all time, a mod which nothing else like it exists, and one of which is widely used today by all players, including high-profile YouTubers with over 33 million downloads, recently was exploited by an extremely malicious player who found a way to download malicious files to players' computers remotely just by getting them to join a Minecraft server.
Quite literally, this is the third biggest RCE exploit in Minecraft.
And mind you, the player doesn't have to download anything, run anything, click any links, or do anything out of the ordinary for this remote code execution exploit to work. All they have to do is join a completely normal looking and inconspicuous server for only a second, which upon doing so, won't even send any warnings or prompts at all. This is the biggest exploit in a Minecraft mod in all Minecraft history, and yet almost nobody knows about it due to the malicious hacker behaving so strangely, trying only to target high-ranking individuals of niche online communities, as well as players on Minehut. And what's scariest is the sheer number of people, including myself and many of you, who are likely vulnerable right now without even realizing.
This is the
Bizarro essa abertura, viu, mano?
single biggest RCE in a single Minecraft mod ever.
But what actually happened, and are you vulnerable? Well, to explain, a few days ago, the two biggest exploiting and duping Minecraft communities on Discord, Autism Inc. and Dupers United, would find a powerful exploit in a well-known mod, of which another malicious individual had found and had been abusing for about a month already. As they would announce in their Discord posts, the bad actor had been targeting higher-ranking members of these Discords in an attempt to rat them and install malicious files on their computer which could do almost anything. And how did he do this exactly? Well, through a mod known as Litematica. Litematica is a very well-known and high-profile Minecraft mod which has over 13 million downloads on CurseForge and over 19 million on Modrint, about 33 million downloads all up. The mod allows you to create, save, and import schematic files into Minecraft, which are like blueprints of builds. The idea behind the mod is that many technical farms, large-scale builds, or just other builds players want to save can be shared through schematics, which players can use as blueprints to follow and build in game, or simply paste in straight up with one click. The mod is extremely useful. You can find schematics being shared all across the internet, whether it be in the YouTube video descriptions of tutorials for farms, large-scale build showcases, and maps on websites like Minecraft, or even websites like this called MinecraftSchematics.com. I'm sure many of you, as well as myself, have used Litematica numerous times and have it enabled almost always, even when we aren't using it specifically. It's the only mod that exists that can do what it can do, and it's been around for so long that it's very widely known with an established reputation. Which is why when it was discovered that there was a vulnerability which allowed any malicious user with a specifically set up inconspicuous server to exploit an oversight in the mod to download a file straight onto users' PCs, which would then run upon the next restart of the game, led to some extreme concern. But how was the exploit actually discovered and reported by who? And this is where there is quite an interesting story to the situation. I got in contact with Bright, one of the higher-up members of the Minecraft duping and exploiting community Autism Inc., who runs a Discord with over 50,000 members, and he gave me the rundown of the situation.
I received a tip-off that a known rasher and doxer in the community had been talking about one of his known ults that he had an exploit with Litematica. He didn't specify what necessarily the exploit was, but he had an exploit with Litematica, and it seemed like a pretty bad one. I then also remembered that we had a situation a while back on Autism Inc. A member get ratted from joining a Minehut server. Virtually no cause that we could see. It happened directly after he joined the Minehut server. We weren't 100% sure. Eventually we thought it was something else. And I remembered that, and I was like, that's strange. And I also remembered another time from about 3 months back. I was in a donut VC, and someone just mentioned don't use Litematica.
So essentially, Essentially, for some additional context, the exploiter, which we'll just refer to as such from here on, was somewhat infamous in the Minecraft exploiting and duping community. He had been active in the community many years ago, before it was as established as it was today, and was known for being a ratter. He would essentially try to gain access to other well-known members of the exploiting community's Discord and Minecraft accounts, and had a reputation for doing so. For whatever reason, he would disappear from the community and Discord for some years, where recently he made his return. Many of the original members of said exploiting community are still involved today, and run or are involved with Autism Inc., as well as the other big duping community and Discord with almost 50,000 members named Dupers United. Bright had received a tip-off that the exploiter was back and looking to get up to the same shenanigans again, and all higher-up staff of both Discords were on alert to watch out, as he had bragged about having some Litematica exploit on an alt account to another person within or connected to the community, who was the one who tipped Bright and a few others off. Bright, upon hearing about the tip-off, put 2 and 2 together and asked Numbers, another owner of Autism Inc., who has found dupes and numerous other exploits for many videos you have seen, to look into it.
I took this information and I went to one of the owners of Autism Inc. Numbers, probably one of the best Minecraft exploiters ever. I told him about this user and how he was back and how he was going after specific people in the community. I also told him about this Litematica thing that he apparently had. I had received a message from Numbers that he'd found found an RCE.
Alongside Numbers from Autism Inc., high-up member of Dupers United named Nightwayne would also find the exploit independently at the same time after receiving a similar tip-off.
I then, just by coincidence, had a DM from Nightwayne. Apparently he'd also found it. He also had found or something with it around about the same time. He was also worried for people in the community. Decided to go looking, see if he could find it. Ended up finding something, talked to Numbers. They ended up getting talking and, worked on it together.
But what was the exploit and how did it actually work? Well, Numbers would essentially record a video recapping how the exploit worked, which we can go through now together. Before that though...
Senhor João, muito obrigado pelos 2, tamo junto, obrigado pelo carinho. É isso mesmo, mano, aqui que tem esse bagulho, entendi.
If you enjoy these deep dives into exploits and niche Minecraft communities, be sure to subscribe so we can reach 1 million subscribers by the end of the year. No pressure, of course. Anyways, here Numbers has made a custom plugin, which is a server-side Minecraft mod and has run a typical server using it. Here he joins the server with a Minecraft client running the Litematica mod. Upon joining, we can see in the server's console, his plugin uploads a file named virus.litematica.jar to the Minecraft instances mod folder. He is not told this happens or prompted with a button or link to download, as would happen if you were downloading a resource pack or clicking a link in-game. As soon as he joins the server, with no warning or indication of such whatsoever, a file is downloaded to his computer. Now, a malicious jar file is hiding in his mods folder. The next time he opens the game, the file he downloaded would also run as a typical mod would, and thus could do almost anything a malicious user set it up to do. It was that easy. Which might make you think, how and why the hell is this even possible? How could he make it so a completely normal-looking Minecraft server is able to download a malicious file to your computer? Well, Litematica contained an experimental feature with another server-side mod known as Servx, which allowed servers to essentially send schematics to players' clients through the server. The reason this was useful was because normally when you save a schematic of a build using Litematica, you can't save the full NBT data of blocks and entities, which for example could mean the contents inside of a shulker or chest wouldn't be saved too. But if you use Servx to save the schematic, you could save that data. To prevent this from being exploited, the Litematica mod would attempt to make sure the file being sent from the server was a legitimate schematic file that would only be saved into the schematic folder, nowhere else on the computer of Minecraft instance. However, the oversight and vulnerability was Litematica allowing the server to abuse something called path traversal, where the server would change the location or directory for the file to be sent to by using slashes to go up one directory level. For example, in the video's Numbers made, we can see that he has slashes here. If this was just a normal schematic transfer, the schematic is meant to be saved within the schematics folder in another folder called transmits. However, in this case, when the file is attempted to be saved in the transmit folder, it will instead go one path outside of it into the schematics folder, then up another level into the .minecraft folder, and then is specified to enter the mods folder and save there instead. Basically, malicious people could essentially trick Litematica into saving a file into the mods folder instead of the schematics folder, and Litematica let this happen by placing too much trust in the file name and path provided by the server. Litematica also did not properly check the file extension to confirm it was a proper Litematica static or schematic file, allowing servers to upload other files with different extensions like .jar files too. Thus, any player could upload a .jar file, which Litematica wouldn't validate, and then also trick Litematica into saving it into the mods folder, where it could then be run or executed next time the player starts that Minecraft instance. The Litematica devs would later mention that this vulnerability had existed as far back as June of last year. Oh, and you didn't need to do this through the Servx server mod either. You could just make another mod or plugin which replicated the same behavior with packet sending yourself. After learning of the exploit, Bright, Numbers, and Nightwane would join the Litematica developers Discord server and get in contact with them, in order to get this exploit fixed as soon as possible.
Yeah, they were pretty shocked, first, and they're like, no way this can be real, because, even I couldn't believe it at the time. They immediately started working on the patch. From when I first got my suspicions about Litematica to all of the patches being done was about 18 hours. Autism Inc. and Dupers United, we all put out a ping to help push that word out. So yeah, the response from the community was pretty instant.
The entire exploiting community would make announcement posts about it, which was very important since the Litematica Discord only had about 15,000 members in it, whereas the mod had been downloaded tens of millions of times. Word would spread, but ultimately there are likely still millions of non-Minecraft players outside of these exploiting communities and Discords, which are still unaware and running a very vulnerable version of an extremely popular.
E aí que a merda começa a bater, velho. E aí vai lá, rouba dados, rouba cartão, faz um monte de bosta. Aí os caras fazem um monte de abertura, um vírus fudido. E aí dá merda isso na justiça. E aí os caras continuam com esse bagulho de pirataria, de bagulho de modificação, de servidor também é pirataria no Minecraft, em todos os jogos. E aí os caras começam a cancelar mod no jogo e fudeu.
Mod. Now, if you're like me leading up to this point, you might be curious as to what the original exploiter who discovered this vulnerability actually did with it. I asked Bright, who told me this.
This bad actor did end up ratting, from my understanding, countless people. They just made free Minehut servers, right? To let those free Minehut servers run and just slowly skimmed people's session tokens as they left and joined with Litematica. I have no idea how many people they got with that, probably hundreds. Compared to what this could have been, it was pretty small. The actual damage done by this.
So, the exploiter would end up setting up and running about 20 or so free Minehut servers with a custom plugin on each designed to exploit this vulnerability, of which anybody who joined with Litematica would thus be affected. For those of you unaware, Minehut is like a Minecraft server where players can host and advertise their own Minecraft servers in. Think of it like Roblox. You join Minehut and then can join a variety of other player-made servers with their own plugins and whatnot, not controlled or run by Minehut themselves. The cool thing about Minehut is not only do they offer some free lower tier servers that you don't have to pay to run, but they also allow players to advertise their servers in game, as well as containing a whole custom server browser which helps these servers be discovered. So what the exploiter allegedly did was run a bunch of these servers, get people to join them, or use Minehut's natural server discovery, which led random players to find and join the server themselves. Then once they did, and provided they had to Litematica, he would steal their Minecraft account session tokens using the exploit.
In terms of the exploiting community, of targeted ratting, I would say they probably got around 20 people.
Okay.
In terms of the wider community, I would say maybe 400. This user is a fucking idiot. Certainly for having this exploit for as long as he did fuck all with it. And we are very, very lucky that he did nothing very bad with it.
Now, for such a large-scale exploit, you might be thinking, is that really all he did? And yes, that's true. Despite the exploiter knowing about this exploit for almost 3 months now, and supposedly running malicious Minehut servers for about a month, he really didn't do much with it on a larger scale. Besides the Minehut servers, he primarily focused on trying to rat high-ranking members of the duping and exploiting communities. He would supposedly pretend to have found a dupe or exploit using Litematica, and then would get people to join his server to show them, of which he would then remotely upload the malicious file to their computer.
As a side note, me and Numbers and many other high-ranking people in the exploiting community, we all very much agree that if he had come to us on an alt and said, hey, I have a dupe or something with Litematica or a crash with Litematica, we would have joined his server and we would have been ratted. Anyone would have fallen for this. This is something that you cannot predict. Please remember that there are always exploits out there, and even the biggest of Minecraft mods can have exploits like this. This is the single biggest RCE in a single Minecraft mod ever.
And I think that last part is the biggest takeaway here. Nobody, and I mean nobody, could have ever predicted that such an exploit could be hidden in this way. Litematica is such a big and well-known mod that so many people use daily and join servers with, that being asked to join a server with it doesn't seem suspicious or unusual at all. Not to mention that up until this point, point, joining a server which instantly and secretly
É mais
downloads a
facilitado
malicious
também
file
pra
to your
bagulho de
computer
esquemática.
has not ever really been a thing, which therefore meant that this exploit could have been abused so much more than it was. In the right hands, a malicious player could have done so much more damage and run malicious files
podia
on so
acabar
many
com a comunidade inteira,
computers,
viado.
including high-profile players and YouTubers,
Nossa,
that this
youtuber,
situation
tudo ia
could
quebrar
have
tudo,
been way more
destruir.
scary than it actually
Nossa.
was. And as for his motivation and why he only primarily targeted certain people, well, apparently it's just a combination of him being banned from these communities for stupid behavior, which maybe led him to dislike them, as well as being bored and always having a reputation for doing as such. And that is the story of possibly the second or third biggest exploit in Minecraft history, and the biggest of any mod exploit ever.
Então não deu muita merda, porque se desse muita merda,
Thank you all
mano.
so much for watching.
Foi quase. Se quisesse, podia dar aquela merda. Roubo de conta, obviamente, ID e tudo mais, essas coisas aí, roubar de conta, mas não só isso, né, mano? Injetar uns bagulho no teu computador ali, esse arquivo aí que empurrava aí, .jar. Você é louco, nossa, roubar uns cartãozinhos, conta bancária, roubar um dinheiro. Aí o cara tem uma carteira de Bitcoin, aí ele abre, coloca o bagulho no PC. Meu Deus, graças a Deus que não tinha um cara demoníaco aí pra querer fazer umas grandes merda. São 19 milhões, né, de pessoas que baixou essa porra. Caralho, mano. Bizarro, tá? Bizarro. Foi uma boa explicação pro sinal do Mr. App. Mano, o Mr. App porque ele sabe fazer uns videozinhos clean, né, mano? Ele pode ser muito odiado, mano, pela galera, mas ele faz uns bagulho clean, mano. Ó, se você tem um mod instalado, make sure to update to the last version which fix the... Ó, eles fixaram. Make sure to... Mano, eu não baixo essa porra, mas nunca mais. Desculpa, não é culpa dos... É um pouco de culpa, né? Mas eu não baixo isso daqui, mas nunca mais eu baixo esse mod, velho. Mas nunca mais, não sou louco. Não sou louco, velho. Não sou louco. Bizarro, tá, mano? Mano, tipo assim, na verdade, eu nunca baixei. Não, isso é o mais louco, gente. Eu nunca usei o Litematica. Nunca. Meu foi Word Edit, depois Word Edit, sempre foi Word Edit, e depois Word Edit eu pulei pro Action. Eu lembro que, eu paguei, tá? Eu paguei o Action. Uma época, eu pagava o Action, gente. Yup, aqui, ó. Eu tinha um commercial license, ó, sign out. Eu pagava, aqui, ó. Yup. Pra um monte de gente usar. Olha o preço que é esse aqui. Só que fala, pô, cara pra caramba, mano. É o melhor programa pra você construir coisa, viado. Hoje é. Tem muita gente que ainda prefere o Word Edit, os Canva 4, mas é o melhor. Legal. Litematica. Mas se você quiser, rapaziada, hoje em dia, Litematica não é um bagulho, é o Action. E aí se você quiser, né, pra construir ou pra coisa... É porque o Litematica é bom pra você do próprio survival, né? O Action já não. Mas se for pra construir, gente, o Action é o blueprint hoje, tá? É o blueprint. Bom vídeo.